I haven't interviewed you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio Music. I'm Pam, your host. And if you didn't hear Eric just say he can't talk right now,
Oh,
for us.
I was talking to my sister. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have Eric joining me today from the band Gone by Daylight. So you got everything situated?
Oh, we're good to go. I'm good to go.
Well, that's what you get with live radio. You never know what's going to happen or what's going to be said.
Oh, yeah.
So we were just talking about where we are, and you're in Massachusetts in the hot weather. I'm in Chicago, and it's relatively warm today, and otherwise it's really been nice out here and not too much like, the regular 90s and 100,000 degrees of humidity, So
we had a little
it's pretty weird.
fall last week. It was pretty cool.
I know. That's been weird, though, because it makes you wonder what winter is going to be like. Is it going to make up for the summer that we didn't really get and give us, more snow and more cold? And I
don't know.
Not the case,
Yeah. I mean, in New England, we're used to it. Everything's very sporadic. You never know what you're really going to get. You can't really predict anything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with Chicago, we definitely get winter. There's been times where it's been actually pretty nice, and it reaches 35 or something.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
But anyways, let's get back to the band information here. Eric, you're on lead vocals, and you play your guitar. The other three guys in the band is Jeff. Do you say his name Shannon?
Shannon.
Shannon?
Like the girl's name.
It just spelled different, that's all.
Yeah.
So Jeff is on vocals and lead guitar, and Shannon's on drums, and Jordan is vocals and bass.
Yep.
So,
they both back up.
Okay.
Jordan, Jeff.
One question I have that might sound pretty strange to you, but I've always wondered and just was kind of chicken to ask because I didn't want to sound like a dummy, but now, when I read about a band and what instruments they play, yours, shows that you play the guitar. And then Jeff, it says vocals and lead guitar.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I mean, are they different guitar types, or it's just because he plays more guitar than you do?
Well, live, he plays more guitar than me. He plays most of the guitar parts. I definitely play, but I spend a lot of time just grabbing the mic and going out and interacting with people and trying to get real up front and close. So he really holds down most of the guitar parts. I play guitar, electric guitar in the set, and I play acoustic guitar. And when we say lead guitar, he just does a lot. I'll do a few guitar solos, but he does a lot of it. And he does a lot of little cool things that are going on while I'm singing, basically. I'll just do simple chords while he does he creates the texture and that whole thing.
Yeah, it makes sense since, when you're live, you've got to be moving around the stage and interacting with the audience and stuff like that. So it's a little bit hard to be doing that.
If you ever see us live, you'll tell. Are you in Chicago most of the time?
I live here, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll be back in Chicago probably later March, early April maybe.
Okay, make it more towards April if you can. At least we know winter will be over by that time.
Yeah, we will. We're planning on doing a tour. It's not booked yet, but we're planning on doing a tour based around South by Southwest and the huge music festival, film technology festival in Austin, Texas.
Uh-huh.
So we're probably going to leave beginning of March and stay out until probably beginning mid-April.
Oh, good. You got to let me know, and I'm sure you put that stuff on your website, your upcoming dates and that. Okay, good, because I'd love to see you guys live.
We'll be making a pretty big deal out of it.
Yeah,
that'd be great. We did the last time we were in Chicago, we did a Hard Rock Cafe over there. It was a pretty cool stage.
Was it in downtown Chicago?
Yep. It was right near that giant, crazy rock and roll McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't even
I don't even know if that's still there, to tell you the truth. It's been ages since I've been downtown.
It's there, and they charge 3 times the price of a McChicken than a normal place would.
That doesn't surprise me either.
Yeah, I don't like to eat McDonald's anyways, but if I'm going to make a bad decision and go for it, I don't want to pay 3 times as much.
Right.
But
that's what happens when you're in downtown Chicago. And the reason I don't go often is because I cannot stand to drive down there. It's crazy. It's almost like New York, although I think New York is a little bit crazier as far as, drivers go. And there's nowhere to park, or the parking is really expensive. And it's just too much. You got to pay for everything, and basically, if you want to go, you have to take the bus or you have to take the L train, and neither one I'm crazy about doing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I lived in New York for a few months. I actually just moved back to Massachusetts less than a month ago. But I lived in New York for a while, and we had a car out there. It was just not worth it. I mean, I would make the mistake of parking on the wrong side of the street. Like, it's like a $65 mistake.
Yeah.
There's like 2 hours out of the week you couldn't park on one side, and if I forgot about it,
I know.
They get you in the parking there. I mean, there was a show where literally we had to play a show in New York at night, and we rented a rehearsal space earlier that day in the city. So we're outside the rehearsal space. I go back out to go grab a guitar. The car's gone. It got towed.
Oh
with
my God!
With all our stuff in it, yeah. So I had to go to the impound lot and pay to get my guitars out just so I could play the show. It took it was a 3-hour thing, and it cost $300-400 between the parking ticket, the towing expense, getting it out. It was just all before a show. It's not the kind of thing
not the way you want to start.
Yeah, but we got through it. We pulled it off.
Is that the reason you moved back to Massachusetts?
No,
I wouldn't blame you.
There's a lot of reasons I moved back to Mass. Mostly because the band's here, and we all wanted. We got back from our last tour. We all wanted to move to New York, but summertime came. People went on vacations, and I was the only one out there for a bit. And we have all these new recordings we want to finish, and I felt better about just being here and working with the guys.
They just used you as the guinea pig.
Yeah, right. If Eric can make it, then maybe we'll come out and.
Right.
but things have been really busy since I got back. We've been working, and we've been in the studio nonstop recording. I was in the studio all day yesterday. I was writing all day today. We've had a whole mess of demos and songs that we need to finish up and get recorded and eventually put out.
Hey, that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always like to have my guests start out by telling our listeners a little bit about how they got started in music. What's your background?
Okay, well, let's see. I started listening to country music when I was little, and a lot of 50s, doo-wop kind of 50s stuff. My parents, I came from a very conservative, very strict family growing up. They're for some reason they're not that way now. They've lightened up over the years, but I grew up with, they were very strict. I couldn't listen to rock music. I couldn't listen to new music. I mean, when I first heard Led Zeppelin, I thought they were a new band. I remember being in fifth grade, and I was telling my friends about, oh man, do you hear about this band Led Zeppelin? My buddy's like, I don't like classic rock, and I was like, well, what's classic rock? I didn't know it was a difference. And then slowly, as I started, slowly as I started getting into music, I realized what was out there, and I started hearing. Well, I was able to listen to more rock music from the library actually, because I would rent CDs from the library. My parents thought, if it's the library, it can't be bad.
Right.
I ended up, one of those first CDs was Red Hot Chili Peppers' "Blood Sugar Sex Magic," and those lyrics are far from the thing my parents wanted me to be reading at the time. But it opened my mind to whoa, what is this? What are these kind of people? What is this kind of thing that's going on that I've known nothing about?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it started with just 50s. I loved Elvis, and that's actually how I met Shannon. We were in the my drummer. We were in middle school together, and we were in the 5th grade. I remember we used to sing "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog" on the parking lot or out in the playground all the time. And that's how we became friends. We started singing that song together. And we pissed a lot of people off by doing that. Some people didn't like it. I remember I got jacked up against the wall by some kid.
Get out of here.
No, he was He was so mad at us because we would sing it every day at recess, and like we had 2 recesses a day, and we would sing it nonstop.
Oh.
And we got a little nuts. But that was our first time being friends. And then he played drums. Actually, he's been playing drums since the 4th grade. And his dad, he's basically self-taught. His dad gave him like a little bit of teaching, a little bit of schooling, and he took it from there. And then I remember seeing Shannon play drums in the cafeteria at school, and I was like, man, I want to be able to do that. But I was like, I want to be able to play with Shannon. Like, I can't. What's the point of having 2 drummers? You never see 2 drummers play together.
Right.
So I ended up picking up the guitar, and I bought my first guitar off Jordan, Shannon's older brother. So I actually bought it off of him. I remember he charged me $10 for it, and I took it home that summer after 5th grade, and that was it. I never put it down.
And your parents were okay with you playing it? I mean, did you practice country music when you were at home or 50s stuff?
No, by the time that happened, they were like well into knowing I was rock music, and they got the gist at that point. I think like 3rd, 4th grade is when I was like really starting to get into music. And that was when I could only listen to country and doo-wop. But by the time 5th grade hit, I mean, I was listening to bands like Third Eye Blind, and I was a big Aerosmith fan at the time, too.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Who doesn't love Aerosmith?
Yeah. I remember hearing, that's what did it, too, is I remember hearing Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion in my uncle's, like, really, really nice headphones, and I was just like, wow, this is the coolest.
Yeah.
I could do this for hours, you know? And then I became obsessed, and I became obsessed with the guitar. Like, I would watch TV playing guitar. I would bring it to the dinner table. I never stopped. And once my parents realized, like, I had, like, the worst, I still have it, I have the worst, like, classical style guitar. I mean, that one I got off Jordan for $10. It was really, really hard to play. But because it was so hard to play, and I played it for, like, 6 or 7 months, and when my parents got me an electric guitar, when I got that, I was, like, really, really good at it at first because it was so much easier to play for me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you learned the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
Now Shannon and Jordan are brothers, so that's easy to figure out how you guys got together. Now, when did Jeff come in?
Well, Jeff came in about a couple of years ago, actually. It's weird. Like, me, Jordan, and Shannon, we've been playing together since, little kids. I mean, it always, like you said, like, it only is a matter of time before Jordan came into the basement while me and Shannon were playing. He wanted to play, too. So he picked up a bass. And then all of a sudden we had this band, and we had, like, many little bands through high school under different names. So we've always, like, played in other bands, too, and come back to playing together. And I think, we had the band named Gamma Daylight when we were, like, fresh out of high school. But it was, like, a whole different thing. And then we kind of, like, disbanded. But then 2 years ago when we started playing music and writing a whole new, like, kind of, like, started getting a whole new sound and a whole different approach to writing music. And I think when that happened, the songs were starting to sound different. And we needed another guitar player, so we had Jeff. That's when we found Jeff. It was about 2011. I think it was the fall or the winter of 2011.
Did you do auditions, or is it just you knew him through somebody? Oh, you did auditions. Okay.
We tried a few people. We had a really good friend play, and he didn't really work out. He was a great kid, but and then we had it was one of those things where Jeff tried out and. Right away, we instantly just sounded better. So it was one of those things. Jeff is very, like, he's different than musically than me and Jordan Shannon. We all learned by ear and by feel and by, like, just playing and learning that way, trial and error. Jeff is classically trained, and he understands his theory. Yeah, he, like, went to school, to college for it, and he's actually really good at recording bands. Like, he's really he's a solid musician. So it was cool to, like, throw that into the mix because it challenged us, it made us want to be a better band.
Exactly.
And the musicianship stepped up.